What's good, ladies and gents? This is the MKO Pugilism Boxing channel where we talk all things boxing. Remember to like, remember to subscribe, hit the bell notification, put that on all so you can receive all notifications whenever we drop new blogs. So right about now, it's time to talk about an announcement which I must say kind of took me aback a bit. I was hearing about this. I think it was either last week or early in this week, and apparently, according to mainly Ryan Garcia himself, I think there was a Mark Coppinger tweet as well or something like that. And apparently, did I say Mikey Garcia? Ryan Garcia, King Ryan, the guy who very popular lightweight boxer, not yet a world champion, but he last beat Luke Campbell by KO. Nice body shot. So apparently he is going to be fighting Manny Pacquiao at some point. And to me personally, there's a lot of questions surrounding this fight. First of all, I'd like to know what weight they're proposing this fight at, because obviously Manny Pacquiao is campaigning at 147 pounds. He's a welterweight. Ryan Garcia is campaigning at 135. So he is a lightweight, and he's a good lightweight. He's a big lightweight. It's a weird one because it just seems to have come out of nowhere. Ryan Garcia was talking very enthusiastically about fighting Gervonta Tank Davis, and he said now he's got a bigger fight, and this Pacquiao news has come out. Pacquiao himself, I don't think he said much about it. I've not really heard anything from his side, but according to the sort of Garcia side, this is apparently going to happen. And I've read there were some articles that were saying apparently it's going to be finalized as of next week. So this is something that it's a very odd one to me, because you've got two guys, very popular guys. It would be a massive event if it does happen. Both guys super popular. Manny Pacquiao, he shuts down his home country of the Philippines. Everybody watches when he fights. Super popular guy. He's almost like a cult figure in the world, is Manny Pacquiao. Also a politician. I believe he's a congressman over there in the Philippines. So very popular guy. He is at the end of his career now, 42 years old, I believe he is. And you've got Ryan Garcia, young kid. He's only early 20s. I think he's only about 22 or something now. So it for me is kind of a weird one. The opportunity side of it makes sense for Ryan Garcia. Obviously, he's a young kid. Manny Pacquiao is somebody he would have grown up watching. He would have seen, perhaps not the prime Pacquiao, but he would have seen probably a lot of Manny Pacquiao's major fights against the Mayweathers of this world, maybe a De La Hoya if he was still around at that time. And yeah, it's a very weird one, because I'd say also Manny Pacquiao, you would think as a world champion, this is an odd move for him, because you've got guys out there like Terence Crawford and Errol Spence Jr., who are the other champions in the welterweight division. You've also got guys like Sean Porter, sort of on the fringes, just lost his world title to Errol Spence. And so you could be, it's one of them where it's kind of a novelty thing, because in a way you could argue why isn't Manny Pacquiao seeking out a fight with his peers in Spence Jr. or Terence Crawford in a unification fight? Surely I would say that as a boxing fan, that would make a lot more sense than a Ryan Garcia. I mean, Garcia is going to make a ton of money, but I don't really think Pacquiao needs any more money. And I think from his side of it, I kind of don't really see much of an upside for Pacquiao to fight this guy, other than it's for financial reasons. And again, I'd be quick to point out he doesn't really need this money. This kid is it would be one thing if, let's say, Ryan Garcia was a welterweight, then we might have a point to it. He's a young welterweight. Pacquiao's an older welterweight. He's on his way out. It's a big money fight, but Garcia's like 2 weight divisions below, so from that perspective, I don't think it makes much sense. I'm curious to know. I don't. There's no final details on it, but I'm very curious to know what weight this will be fought at. Will Ryan Garcia have to come up, have to bulk up to get to 147 pounds for this Pacquiao fight, or will Pacquiao have to come down, or will they meet in the middle at maybe 140 pounds? I know Pacquiao's a relatively small fighter. He's quite small. He's not the tallest of guys, but I'd have to imagine at 42 for him to get down to anything below 147 might be a bit of a challenge for him. So it'll be interesting to see exactly what weight this fight is fought at. And it's one of these things again where, to me, I can only really see an upside for Ryan Garcia in this fight, because if he goes in there and he does a job on Manny Pacquiao, he beats Manny Pacquiao up, or he beats Manny Pacquiao on points, or if he gets any type of victory over Manny Pacquiao, then his fame, which is already big, he's already a big star out there, but that fame of his is gonna skyrocket, and he'll go to a different stratosphere. And I think if he fights and beats somebody like Manny Pacquiao, because there are rumors that this is just an exhibition match, an exhibition fight, but I haven't heard any such thing from Garcia, so I'm going to assume it's meant to be a real fight. And if it is a real fight, and if Ryan Garcia does win this fight, then that will really stamp him. Although it's a weird fight, it's just out of left field, as they say in the States. And although he's not fighting guys in his own weight division, if he beats someone like a Manny Pacquiao, whichever method he does it by, I think he will shoot to superstardom, and the A side talk, he will be all in his favor, even because, even though I would say Teofimo Lopez is the man of the lightweight division, I'd still have to concede that a win over Manny Pacquiao kind of trumps any win that it kind of even trumps a Lomachenko win, although Lomachenko, great fighter, he's about 3-weight world champion himself, but a win over Pacquiao will trump everything for Garcia. So I see it's definitely a big upside for him, but for Pacquiao, there is no real upside apart from he's going to get paid for it. If he beats Ryan Garcia, if he bashes him up, if he stops him, if he knocks him out, that was, in my view, that's sort of what I'd expect to see, because Pacquiao's the bigger guy, the stronger guy, the more experienced guy. Garcia hasn't fought anybody that heavy, as big or strong as Manny Pacquiao, and he's given up a lot of weight. He's not giving up height, I don't think, but he's definitely giving up natural man strength and body strength and stuff. And he definitely, in terms of punching power, he won't have felt anything like what Manny Pacquiao possesses. So I think for Pacquiao, if it does happen, he's just got to spark this kid out, really. I think that's the only acceptable result, because you're facing a guy jumping 2 weight divisions, so you've got to take him out. And I think in all likelihood that's what probably happens. So in that respect, for Pacquiao, I don't see anything he can really gain off of this, because all that will be said, I think, by some fans in some quarters, is that he's got a world title, he's got responsibilities with that world title, and instead of seeking to unify that world title against the likes of the guys I've mentioned, the other champions in the welterweight division, he's fighting a guy from 2 weight divisions below, and it's not really saying much. I mean, it's one of those where I agree with guys in the sense that if he does take this fight, he should just vacate his title, because he's obviously not that serious about defending it. And if he doesn't intend on defending it or unifying with the other champions, then maybe drop it. But yeah, for me, it's a puzzling one. It's an interesting one. It's not a fight that I believe the public are really calling for. It's not a fight that I think anyone really wants, but it is a fight that millions of people are going to watch. At least that's what I think, because they're both so popular that and it will be such a spectacle, such a weird one out of left field that I'm sure many people will watch it. I think as far as results go, the most likely outcome, if it's at welterweight or something like that, anywhere thereabouts, I think Pacquiao will knock Garcia out, definitely 100%. I don't think a lightweight can come up to welterweight and do damage against Pacquiao. I think if that happens, it would be an amazing feat on Garcia's part, and that would really put him on the map as a superstar. De La Hoya, I think De La Hoya's promoter said he'll make it in a heartbeat, so it seems like it could happen. And anyway, we're going to find out more information next week, apparently, and we'll see if it really does get signed. And if that is the case, then another strange thing in boxing. We'll see what happens. Let me know what you think about this fight. Do you see it the same as me, that Pacquiao will, if it does happen, knock out Ryan Garcia? Let me know. Do you think the same as me, or do you see it differently? Do you think Garcia has any legitimate chance? Do you think this is just an exhibition? Do you think this is all just hype talk and this is clout chasing or whatever? Let me know what you guys think. And until next time, this is MKO Pugilism, over and out. Catch you on the next one.